Welcome to another episode here on Yuan, episode 8. And we're gonna start with a sewer dwelling, which we're gonna remove. I really don't want anything coming from that unusual location. An unfortunate one, but not all of them can be positive. In a positive note, my caravan did found some cargo, which is great. More money coming our way, which we'll desperately need. Now I'm trying to join Yuan Xianyu with Yuan Bo to give him the necessary units. And finally his main army, I'm considering not even upgrading and seeing how this goes well into the late game. So let's see, not that one, he has gold chevrons. So we'll remove everyone. We want the Jade with shields. Except the war drum, everything stays, and that's the army for Yuan Bo. Lots of Jade units, it's thematic, and I think he can bring it to great victory against many foes. We'll try it out. As for Yuan, she's just gonna stay with that army for a while until we can. Now we'll try to ambush here. She doesn't have enough movement, so I'm gonna have to ambush a little bit closer. And I aim to get the Skegi and finally finish off Mazdamundi. Oh, there you go. The Ferric victory. Let's construct. By the way, this is still before the beta of the proving grounds, which I will now be using as well. So the campaign shall be changed a little bit with the beta, but I hope everything goes alright and smoothly. Let's get the compass again for the same direction. I wish I could be changing, but I'm really requiring that. The Shield of Nangao, that's a nice shield to have, actually. Let me see who can actually use which items and make a quick review of the items that I'm using. So the Shield of Nangao, that's good. I wish I had the standard as well. Crystal of Kunlan, what's the ability? Well, I prefer the anchor chain there, but the Cloak of the Moonwind is much better. Let me fuse these two items. Kite of the Uttermost Airs, I do not know this. Causes damage to combatants if they're flying. Oh, that's interesting. And effect range is quite good, 55. I mean, this would be great for any lords that would be on a... what's it called? Sky Lantern mount. That would be great, actually. I'll have to remember that one later on. Because that would mean if they are attacked, they're just causing them damage. So that would be cool. Some less upkeep, it's always good. I don't wish to equip the Caravan Master. I really like the caravans, but I always feel like they shouldn't have the items and anything like that. It's very easy for us to have an encounter. We cannot flee. Qlei, well, they captured Zanshi, so I'm gonna have to see if I can get some level of settlements here. So yeah. I feel like the biggest threat here is no longer Clan Eshin, but Lokir. And for that, I need to prepare some good units and some good armies. Something fast or something with a lot of range to deal with those units. In terms of the buildings and control, I'm glad actually I went for the control with the compass, because I'm really requiring that. Polyquarter, it's what it's called, but you know. Oh, I can get a non-aggression pact with Ghost. That's nice. And trade with Stirland. Always take the trades from the Order Tide. That's at least my take. Usually it weakens them if I'm asking money, and that's kind of the purpose. I later on want to conquer those places. Hexotl would give me a lot of money, but I don't want to have to betray them, and I really want to finish them off. Okay, supply line operations, that's enabled replenishment, and some more ammunition, that would be nice. The campaign movement range is good as well. Winds of Magic Reserve, next hero granted, levy the provinces. I don't have really anything that I would need, but I would have to spend those later on. So the enemy failed our ambush. This is great. It's a great point to actually attack and do some crazy damage against the enemy. And we're deploying a staggered line of frontline infantry followed by the shielded crossbowmen. The Jade War Drum is great to have in the middle of everyone because it does give them buffs to everyone. It has a nice range. And then we're putting in the jet lines against the Reaper Bolt throwers. They can use their magic mirror to thwart any missiles. They're perfect for those artillery fire ones. And yeah, they can defend themselves. So let's try a Blossom Wind spell with 180 intensity. I'm not going to show the kills, but it did 40 kills and 1,600 damage. That was a great shot. But yes, overall, Jet Lions perfect to deal with enemy artillery, especially on an ambush situation. But even without it being an ambush situation, as soon as they can cast that magic mirror, they're good for the kill. And yes, the enemy cannot deal with the ambush, of course. They're trying to flee for their lives, but they won't be able, and Yuan Bo is ready to begin the pursuit. Jade crossbowmen with good range, they can reach the enemy, and that will be the end of it. Enemy mages indeed. He's your biggest mage yet. And that's a decisive victory. Very simple, very straightforward. Should I replenish the army? You see, I never like when the damage values are shown because it doesn't really reflect who was doing the most work. You know, it was very important, for instance, for the Jet Lions to attack. So let's get either Titanic Impact here, which causes the rattle effect, and the vortex of the Celestial Sweep. It's very nice. It doesn't have a lot of radius, which is the big problem. These radius should be always like around 10 meters or 15 meters. This is just a little bit in the middle of a thick of the infantry, actually. Of the enemy infantry, of course. So let's destroy that building. One thing is that not all provinces need to go either yin or yang. Some provinces can just stay in the middle, in the harmony. And I'll have to develop a few of them to ensure that I don't have too many issues with research, but for now I'm happy going some yin and some yang, you know. The biggest problem is that if you focus on the income stuff, well, you're gonna lose some research, which is also important. So overall, you should have a little bit of a balance with the faction, that's for sure, between yin, yang, and just yin-yang factions. Now, Satan the Watcher, I definitely need to think it through a little bit, check his specific buffs to see if there's any army, a specific army that I'm missing out there. But overall, I think just giving some archers and some constructs to the army will be nice. For now, you'll have to do with following this army, with some jade crossbowmen. It's basically anything that was left from Yuan Bo. But it still works perfectly. Let's get some more treasury. 11,000 is great. I can summon a unit of Ancestral Warriors. Oh, hold on, that's a nice. Summons are always great. And who should have it? Should you have it? Let's have Sure Aim here, and let's think... Yeah, Jade Amulet, better than the Anchor Chain. See, when a rare is better than the other one. So it's not that Jade Amulet. Oh, that gives 160%. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Ancillaries. I thought it was the Jade Amulet. I missed on the one. So, you're gonna have the icon. Or Culé. I think that's great for him, actually. It's great for him, because he has peasants. So it would be great to have those two summons. It gives him a little bit more of an edge. Let's get eyes up. Definitely the campaign line of sight is undervalued. By the way, unconfirmed, but campaign line of sight seems to be relevant specifically to spot enemy ambushes. And when you have Skaven in the game, well, definitely you'll want those. That's for sure. So let's see if we can repeat the strategy of ambushing. There's no secondary army that I see. No, always scout, always do this. That's why your heroes have a little bit more movement speed than your others. And the other one is channeling. So, Gen 2, we're gonna have to move over here because of that conquest issue. I need to get to those sea goodies later on, so I'm gonna ensure that I get a good army for June 2. Definitely that income goes, and some more spice market. That's good. The good thing about the resources is that they don't go into yin or yang, and that helps giving you some income without having to think whether or not it goes to your overall province strategy. Now, should I get tea parlor, conscription field? No, I think tea parlor, so overall going into the yin and yang. Both are kind of useful. Let's increase Baleful Hills so that we can get a tier 3 barracks. And what else? What else should we do? We do have Mirosha here, and we could attack. I cannot ambush because, well, I really actually want to ambush. I don't think I can fight that out easily on an attack, actually. And I really want to try and ambush here. Especially because I have Jiangxi. They likely will attack it. And I'll ambush. That's it. And the reason for this is to ensure that the Zhao Ming actually attacks and destroys that army. And then I can move in and capture whatever's left of Clan Eshin. If I can capture Clan Eshin's and then the Lokir's armies and settlements, then I'll have a very solid foothold on that province, on that area of Cathay, actually. So let's check out diplomacy. And Whistleland and Null. Yes, anything with the Empire is great to take. And they definitely have a lot of purpose for us. I want an alliance with Mother Stankia, or maybe just a non-aggro pact for now, but eventually an alliance would be great. You know, Kislev, Avalorn, yeah, let's get. The reason for this is to get just the vision towards more places. I can get some military access, and overall I'm just getting enough gold from all of these to ensure that I can continue with a little bit more of an army than what I already have. One thing that I did not notice is my my stones for the matters of state. I should have already used it. I believe I'll use it on the next episode or later on this episode. Forgive me if I forgot. So, my army was spotted. This time we have an actual battle, but overall it's great to engage. I believe I can do this. They do have a Dark Conduit ability, so we gotta be careful with that, and especially the artillery. So we're gonna have to send our Jet Lions into a thick of a lot of missile fire to try and defeat that artillery. So that magic mirror is gonna be very valuable on this battle.
Together, we shall reduce these bones to a red mist.
Let's watch the battle. We're gonna engage straight up, shielded units in front, and just see if I can focus fire them out before they cause too much damage. Jet Lions are gonna try and intercept the missile cavalry already with the magic mirror. so that it'll hit themselves, which is perfect for this. Come on. They're trying to wait it out, but it doesn't work. That's great. Trying to hit the same with the artillery, which is perfect. Even if they don't hit, it has delayed their shots, which is always nice. A nice Blossom Wind here to defeat a couple of units. Actually, almost 3 if it could hit these cavalry units. That would be nice. But it wasn't meant to be. You can see the effect of so many missile units on my front line. But still, they're managing what they can. And all that I'm doing is trying to ensure that the enemy doesn't push through or doesn't kill a specific unit. So jet lions are now arriving to the enemy artillery and enemy missiles, just thwarting their capabilities of firing. Overall, the battle is going well. I'm invading the enemy, and Yuan is going to try to reach the sorcerer and using Executioner just to see if it drops the health and it forces her to leave. That would assist us greatly. In the meantime, just spam Magic Mirror and try to use your own missiles against the enemy. Come on, Jet Lions. Keep thwarting, keep moving. That's their purpose. To try and thwart enemy missiles so that my own missiles can do the damage. Again, Magic Mirror. Look how it works. People think it doesn't, but it actually does. Especially against Dark Elves. 3 units with Magic Mirror. Plus you can get your own Sorcerer to do it. And that's the outcome. No units lost. Even though it was difficult. Be careful with your Jade Lions and Jet Lions. They did wonderfully. And that's precisely why we bring them. For massive missile units, that's the spot. And you can see, they don't do a lot of damage. You don't need them to. You just need to avoid the damage from the enemy. Let's replenish the army. Over here it seems like the enemy was defeated, and now we can actually move in towards Clan Ashen's places. If I was not mistaken, I would say that likely they don't have enough armies here. I can increase that building, but let me check technology. Base missile damage is nice. The armor and melee defense for Peasant Long Spearman is also nice. That certainly helps us getting some peasant armies alongside our Jade armies working perfectly. So, should I go for Harmony walls here? Skeggy definitely could use some walls, but I need the money. I'm gonna risk it a little bit, so just yin money. Growing is nice, and getting more income is also nice. Definitely we should. Yep, definitely yank here. We want to continue with those bonuses. And for now, that seems like a good outcome. So we've defeated that army, and likely we can even attack here on Isildur Tor. I want to get to evasion there, but do I want Mask of Jade first? I think so. Diplomacy with the Empire is going just well, and we might just get a nice confederation out of that. Who knows? Of course, confederation with Cathay forces. Let's attack Isildur Tor, or Isildur Tor, so that the enemy reinforces. Casualties are medium. I believe I'm going to fight this battle, but do I show it or not? We'll see on the next episode. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.